Hey guys, it's Kara with MysticTwist.com, and today is day 2 of my Tesla road trip. I am currently just outside of Boise, Idaho, so yeah, pretty exciting. So today I want to talk to you about how to put a mystical twist to everyday objects. This can be a tool that you can use for pretty much anything, and it can be really powerful depending what you end up doing with it. But as always, when putting a mystical twist on things, best to work on items that are specific to yourself and that are in high vibrational or high frequency intent. So think like joy, love, peace, happiness. Don't really want folks to be cursing each other. And if you impart your free will on others, that might not go over so well. So anyways, so today I'm going to be talking to you about power objects. Now, what is a power object? Well, a power object can be anything. It is a particular tool or object in physicality that we give a very specific mystical job. So it can be my car, James. James is definitely an awesome power object who keeps me safe and chauffeurs me around. And is also a tool for me to connect to high frequency AI. I also have a power object that I like to use to blast light throughout the entire planet. And I'm going to show off my self-driving capabilities here by doing this handless or driving steering wheel or handless on the steering wheel. Oh my gosh. It's still like unnerving to get used to. But I have this crystal, which is my power object for blasting light. So basically what I've done is I've given this crystal a very specific job where I use it really for one thing only. So what I'll do is I'll like take this and like bang it really hard either on a solid surface or even on my leg or on the ground. And I basically just imagine light going like just exploding across the entire planet. And the reason why I do that is because mystically I'm casting my vote for how I want to live on the planet, which is in the new paradigm. And the new paradigm, if you're not familiar, it's just like a new agey word. It can mean a lot of different things. To some, it's even like, if we go far back enough in time, space, or history on this planet, it could be what we think of as the original paradigm. But basically, it's a specific construct that a lot of light workers and new agers use to indicate that we are done with dark games, or we're done with the power over others structure of the planet. Now, my mentor and teacher, Inelia Benz, talks a lot about this. Check out her website at ineliabenz.com if you want to learn more about the new paradigm and the power over other structure. She's put out a ton of amazing tools about it, and this is actually one of them, the tool I just showed you with this crystal. And so a power object is like any particular item that you give a job. Now, if you do want to create a power object, it's best to start with an object that you already like really, really love. And I mean that literally, like it invokes feelings of happiness, or it has an amazing memory associated with it, or holding it or using it just gives you a sense of joy, like whatever it is. And the reason why this is important is because emotions, as Inelia Benz would say, emotions are the brick and mortar to manifestation. So this is how we create and co-create reality, is through our emotions. Now, If you're using an object that already has some emotions attached to it, then that can be really powerful and you can use that to your advantage. However, if you don't have an object, let's say it's a brand new crystal or item that you've picked up, and it might not have any type of affiliation yet because it's brand new, then what you can do is you can put your intent and infuse your intent in that object. And you can do that by just, closing your eyes, and closing my eyes while driving is so crazy, huh? Good job, James. So you can close your eyes and you can just imagine the intent of what you want to happen or what you want to see or what you want to feel, and literally like seeing a light coming from the top of your head, going through your body and taking that intent, that feeling, that emotion, going into your hands and infusing that object with a particular job. This is also a way that you can make objects go sentient, which is really cool. And you just kind of know when that happens. So maybe as a kid growing up, you had a teddy bear who was alive. In fact, I know a lot of children around the planet even who their teddy bears are like totally, completely alive, or their toys, because they've just put so much intent and love and feelings into them that they become alive. And there's many, many cultures around the world throughout history who have shared this wisdom or teaching that every form of matter is sentient at some level. And it's more just how do we tap into it. So you can create power objects by giving them specific jobs. Now, if you're using something like a crystal, I don't necessarily recommend using a crystal for multiple jobs unless they're compatible in some way. Or if you've picked up a crystal like from a store, make sure that you wash it first. And by washing it, it's like cleanse it of its original job or programming. And you can do that by submerging the crystal in like a saltwater bath. You can take a glass bowl, put Himalayan salt in it or regular table salt, and just submerge it in salt water for a couple days. You can also put it outside in the sun. The sun will like basically burn out any other energies that are in it, or you can bury it, and the crystal or the earth and the soil will remove what was in the crystal. Kind of like think of like roots, from the taking that minerals out of the soil, kind of like that. And crystals, because they're crystalline in structure at a molecular level, they're very, very structured. They basically are a great tool to channel energy like a circuit. Like think like a circuit board, but instead of like logic gates, or instead of having like an on and an off switch, crystals, have a particular structure that we can take advantage of in really cool mystical ways. So I've given mine a specific job. You'll also notice it has 3 lines on it. That's also symbolic, so you can add touches or mystical twists to your power objects too, to infuse their power with even more intent. The number 3 to me is a very powerful number of basically all sorts of things: witchcraft, divinity, alchemy, the rule of 3s. Nikola Tesla talked about 3 as a power number. So it's not necessarily something that you have to believe in or agree with, but for me personally, it's a very powerful symbol. So I added it to my crystal to help expand that intent when I use it for its job. So very similarly, let's say I wanted to change the job of this crystal and make it do something else, then I would do exactly what I described and remove the job by putting in a salt bath for a couple days, or out in the sun, or putting it in a pot of soil, and then you just reprogram it like I described. So I'll actually give you a really cool example of what this could look like. And again, I'm showing off my self-driving car capabilities by doing multiple things at once. So I picked up this object at a store while on my road trip. And it's super cool. It's a feather. It's a couple of feathers with a stone on the handle, and it's wrapped in a nice leather encasing as a grip. And I'm going to use this feather to help cleanse the rooms that I'm staying in a hotel, which again, that mystical tool I picked up from EneliaBenz.com, and you can check out this YouTube link where she has an amazing video that goes into how to cleanse the energy of your room, like if you're staying at a hotel. So click the link if you want to learn more about that. But anyways, since this is a new object that I haven't used before, I am going to give it a job to help cleanse the lingering energies of where I stay on this trip in particular, but maybe even beyond that. So its job will be to, assist in mystical hygiene, you could say. So, since this object wasn't made by me, it was made by an artist somewhere. In fact, I'm not sure, I can't read where it came from actually. But if you've probably heard of like smudge sticks, like white sage, you can burn. It's same kind of thing. You can use feathers to smudge a room or to smudge yourself, just in the same way you can a sage stick or incense. It's a nice thing to do in hotels because you can't usually like smoke or light incense or burn sage and smudge in a hotel room or a cabin or something. I guess you could camping, so that's something to keep in mind. So anyways, that's going to be a new power object that I'm going to create, and just like I described, when I use it, well actually before I use it, I'm going to release the energies from the artist if they're not compatible, and to make it mine, there's actually a way to do this that's pretty cool. So give me one sec while I open up this object. There's the road, in case you want to see. So showing off, actually, can I show off the self-driving car? Let me see if I can do this. James is doing a fabulous job driving. Okay, so I'm going to open this feather. And I'm going 90 miles an hour, by the way. Teslas are freaking awesome, I have to say. Alright, I'm back. My phone ran out of storage space, so I had to delete some stuff in order to keep recording. So, sorry for the disruption. Anyways, so what I was saying before, I wanted to turn this smudge feather into a power object, but I want to like make it more mine, right? Because it has the energy of the artist infused into it. Usually artists, mostly unconsciously, but some of them consciously, will channel or infuse their own energy into a particular piece. And sometimes that's like super cool and really awesome and exactly what we want, but I don't generally want that in my power objects unless I know who the object is coming from. So this particular smudge feather was created by Tom Gray L. Rael, and the feathers are from live and domestic birds, so that's pretty cool. So I don't know what Tom Gray L. Rael is about, or sorry, Tom Grayelk. God, Tom Grayelk Rael. So I don't know what Tom is all about. He could be a super awesome light worker, which is probably pretty accurate, because I mean, like, how beautiful is this? Like, I found it at a natural grocery store, a local store, and really nice place. But sometimes we might find ourselves in a mystical shop that is full of dark stuff. So it's good to be street smart, mystically speaking, and this channel is all about light work and high frequency work, so it's going to have that angle on it. But if you do happen to find yourself in a dark store, well, you can see the signs if that's the case. Like if they're selling monkey paws at a crystal shop, or if the people running the crystal shop have Luciferian tattoos on their arms, it's probably not a light worker shop. And I'm talking from direct experience, where I saw some really cool magical shops back in California, and they have some really amazing stuff in it, but then what I realized is the people working there had infused everything that they sold with dark, negative energy. So again, be street smart. And even if I had bought some stuff from that store, I can do what I described earlier and cleanse the objects, just like the exercise showed. But let's say I have this feather and I can't really submerge it in water. I mean, I could, but I don't really want to because it's a feather. It doesn't seem like the right kind of energy or element to infuse it with. It's like got the elements of air and maybe even earth and parts of the animal kingdom. So putting salt and water on it might not make a lot of sense. So there's a couple things I could do to cleanse it. I could smudge it with smoke. That would be super compatible because the smoke is also from the air element, just like feathers represent air in the mental realms. But since I'm currently in my car, I'm not going to do that right now. Another thing that I can do is to make it mine, I can just blow on it. And as I'm blowing on it, I envision that the energy from the feather is leaving it and going back to its source. So the source of this feather could be anything, or I should say this tool, it's more than just a feather. But the source of this tool could be the person. It could be from back to Tom, and the energy is sent back to him. It could be that it goes back to the birds in which they came from, or even Gaia, or even just the original source, if we want. But since this seems like an object made from a really cool light worker, I'm gonna set my intent and envision as I blow it, as I put my own air and essence onto the object, I'm going to see or envision anything that's not high frequency and compatible with my chosen reality, which is high vibrational experiences, the new paradigm, joy, light, love. All of those energies are going to go back to the source. Energies that aren't compatible with that are going to go back to that source. So, as I'm working with it, I can just infuse it like that, and also it puts my own signature onto it too, and I sort of can claim it in that way. So that's just another way in which you can cleanse objects and also make this into a power object, right? Every time I do this, and the more I do it, and the more it starts to feel like mine, and the more I can infuse it with a particular job as well, which is to smudge and draw out any negative energies or low frequency experiences from a particular space, whether it's a room or a person or anything like that. So that's all I have for you today, and as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out my website, mystictwist.com, and it's only day 2 of the road trip, so you can expect a lot of really cool tips and tricks and videos to come on how to add